Hello and welcome to Apex Instant Tips episode number 180, brought to you most Fridays at 12:05 Eastern Time. We're your hosts. I'm Anton.
And I'm Marwa. Hi, Anton.
Hi, Marwa. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
Great, great. So today we have a pretty big tip that's going to last all of 5 minutes, but but I think a lot of times the 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 instructions on how to use things get you to be able to use them, but they don't really explain the life cycle process of moving things from development to test to production. I found that about REST data sources. I found that about Apex workflow, the new Apex workflow things. You get the first part, but it lacks a lot of the latter part. So I know you have a tip for us today, or a couple of tips on web REST data source, things you can do with REST data sources to make it easier to deploy them, or better, safer, all kinds of things. So I'm going to share my screen. We'll get going right away. I'll turn on the timer. We'll see if we can give the tip in 5 minutes. And then if people want to stick around, we'll explain why you use this tip. But I have two web services. They do exactly the same thing, but this is the web service that I should call when I'm in my dev environment. But when I move it to test, or maybe even to production, I'm going to have a different URL that I call. This is my development URL for a web service, and it has a particular API key. When I move to test, I'm going to have a different API key. And when I move to production, I would have yet a different API key. So I have three different URLs because I've got a dev environment, a test environment, and so forth for these web services. So if I take a look at the web service, this is the results of the web service in dev, and this is the results of the web service in test. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to copy my URL right here. This is my web service. And if I don't have that API key, I'll just point out, if I don't have that API key, I don't get any data back. I need that API key for this thing to work. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to create a REST data source right away. And I'm just going to go through the normal steps. And Marwa, you jump in and tell me, after I get this thing created, what I should have done better. So this is my emp service, and my endpoint is this. I'll point out that Apex does a nice job of breaking this out into a base URL and a service path. And it doesn't recognize this base URL right now, so it's going to create a new remote server for me. I'll click next. There's no pagination in this. I'm just going to click through really quickly. Next. And it doesn't have authentication, but it does have that API key. So I'm going to put that API key right here as a query string so that I can get my discovery. And that was ABC123, I think, ABC123. And it would be a static value because it'll never change. I click discover. It's got my data. Boom. I've created my REST data source.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
what should I do now?
I have two improvements to suggest. The first one is to change the name of the remote server. So if you go to that,
shared components, remote servers, I should be able to find that one.
Dev.
Okay, so it's right here. So that's the name. You don't like this name?
No, I would prefer like an employee server name or something significant instead of dev231, because potentially that could be changed in the future from one environment to another,
Well, right, because in in this environment it is dev231, but like we said, it wouldn't be dev231, so it doesn't make sense. I agree. So we'll make that change. So I've made that change. What else?
Great. And while creating the REST data source, there is one step that I would like you to do differently.
Okay. Let me jump back in there.
Okay.
And right here, I'm going to go back in, shared components. I'm going to create a new REST data source, and I'm going to do it your way. Okay, so from scratch, I'm going to put in emp2 here. I'm going to use that same URL endpoint, and we'll get to see the results of what you had here. You can see it already recognizes the remote
Yes.
server, and that's a much better name. I definitely like that. The next thing, what should I do? No pagination. There's no authentication.
I want you to stop here, please, and
Oh,
I want you to turn this authentication required on. Yes,
okay.
and yes, the type would be new world query string. You see, and you will put the API key right here.
Okay. Let me
Yes,
check I got that right. Okay.
great.
Now I can discover. Oh, beautiful. So now that's working just fine. Create that REST data source. Ah, excellent. Just to show that everything's working, I'm going to go ahead and create a really quick interactive report on that REST data source that we just created, just to show people how easy that is. IR, I'll say it's on a REST source. I'll pick my EMP2 REST source. I'll create my page, and we'll run that page. And so this is on the page that you just mentioned. And there it is. It's calling a remote table. This data, oh, there we go. This data is not in my workspace. This is being called from someplace else on the internet. Great. Those are the tips. And we did the tip in 5 minutes. But now we should show people why.
Yes.
Why do these two things?
We should show them an example and explain details about the importance of those two tips.
Right. And I was rushing us so much. I actually know that there was something else that that we missed that we should have done. So I'm going to go back. And so if you're watching for the tip, I really should have done that. You know what it is, right? I should have switched this prompt on install to true. So you want to make sure you do that as well. I think that's an important thing. So we're going to do that, and then we'll do one more thing in the shared service. Yeah, in the web credentials. Here's the web credential.
Attribute.
Yeah.
Is that it?
It was called credentials for. I'm sorry.
There it is. I can see it. Credentials for EMP2. I can see it.
I believe you. I just can't see it myself.
With the space.
With the space. Sorry. Oh, so there we go. So the other thing you want to be careful about, this is not only valid for this URL, it's also going to be valid for the other one. So I can either delete this, or I have to put in the URL, this other URL as well, right? So, but the easiest thing to do is for me to just go ahead and delete this. Now it'll be valid for all URLs, but you want to do that with your credential as well. So once you've got those two things done, the prompt on install, and you've cleaned up your credentials to either have all the URLs you need or no URLs, now the thing is, why was this important? Why did we do this? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to export my application right here. And we're kind of cheating, but we did give the tip in 5 minutes. Okay, so this is our export. And so I'll drop that right there. And I'm going to log out of this workspace. And I'm going to log back in to a different workspace. Now I'm going to log in to Marwa, to your workspace.
Okay, so
and I'm going to import this application.
I'm the test environment and you're the dev environment.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So now I'm in my test environment. I need a different URL and I need a different API key, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to import this. I'll assign it a new ID. It's installing the application. And now it's saying, okay, what is the API key for this environment? So I have to put an API key here. And in this case, it's different. It's AAABBB. So I'm going to put that here. And the URL changes as well. My base URL in this case is this. So that's my base URL. I say next, and now I can run the application, and with any luck, it will run. And we'll check out our interactive report. No data found. Okay, so it appears maybe I've done something wrong, but let's take a look. I'll take a quick edit of the application. That the idea is that that's supposed to have solved our problem, and it's supposed to work now. I've obviously done something wrong. Let me go back to my web credential. Usually that's where the problem would be. Credentials for EMP2, API key AAABBB, apply that change. Let's see if I got it now. There we go. So I apparently mistyped it when I did it the first time. So that is the real reason. What happens, Marwa, the next time I export from my workspace, when I've made changes to the application in my workspace and I move them to test? What's gonna happen then?
Yes, so you mean you will export again from dev to...
Right, so I make some changes and I wanna re-import this application. So let's pull this application. So 180 data sources. I'm gonna import this again with the same ID. So the next time, so I've made some changes. Let's just pretend like I've made some changes, right? And I click next. So this time, I'm gonna use this ID. I won't have to do these changes again, right? I'm gonna replace the application. And you can see now it knows the right API key and it knows the correct URL. That way, you don't have to go edit the application when you bring it back into the workspace each time.
Yes.
So I can run right through and run the application. And if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't done that, and if I had done it the way I started out doing it, I would have to go in and I would have to edit my manually. I'd have to edit my REST data source, right? Because down here, thank you. Keep me honest. Where do I go now?
Status.
Right. And if I go to my first one, I would have to go in and manually edit this API key.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the other thing is,
it would be exposed in the export file, right? Okay.
Say that a little louder.
It will be exported in the export file and exposed this API key, which should be confidential, I think.
You're right. Right. So it would show in the export file. It would also show right here. But as you just said, it should be confidential.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, people have wasted a perfectly good 14 minutes with us today. I do have a joke for you, though, Marwa.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you're going to get this joke. Do you ever watch? Do you ever watch Bugs Bunny?
I think once or twice.
Oh.
Ah.
Well, for our old American audience, my age in America, who watched Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, you might not get this joke at all. But for everybody else or anybody else, Elmer Fudd. Do you know who Elmer Fudd is?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny break into a distillery because they're going to rob the distillery.
Okay.
You know what a distillery is? A place where they make booze, alcohol. All right. Jokes are so much less funny when you have to explain them. But okay, so Elmer Fudd convinces Bugs Bunny to break into a distillery with him. They break in. Bugs Bunny turns to Elmer Fudd and says to Elmer Fudd, "Is this whiskey?" And Elmer Fudd says, "Not as whiskey as robbing a bank." It's not funny at all to you because you don't get it. But Elmer Fudd talks with a all right, I'll come up with a joke that's funny to you the next time.
Actually, it is funny.
Okay, well, hopefully Bilej got it. So whiskey, risky, anyway, there we go. People have definitely
It
wasted
is funny. It is funny.
speaking.
Sorry for interrupting you, but it is funny. Yeah, I get it.
So so here we go.
Just to
Can you set the
say something-
URL? Yeah, can you set the URL and a credential using a script? Utmost has a question for you, Marwa.
Sorry, I was not paying attention. Can you set the URL and credential using a script? And credential using a script?
Yes,
What's
using an API. Using an API.
Oh, that's what I mentioned yesterday, right?
That's what you mentioned yesterday. Yeah, that's why I gave you the question because you answered it yesterday.
I don't think there is an API for this, right?
Yeah, there is. Yes, you pointed it out to me. It's
I
Apex
pointed
Web.
it out to you.
Yes, yes, yesterday. Yes,
I'm
yes, you
distracted
can.
by the joke. Okay.
Yes, you can set these through a script. There are Apex APIs for setting web credentials and the URL. So yes, you can do that through an API. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Just to tell people if they want to contact us or send questions.
right.
Right.
That was a good segue because he just had a question. If you have additional questions, how do they get to us, Marwa?
Well, Mark has an address for you to contact us through it.
Okay. So Mark
Will be
has
displayed on the screen later. Yes.
yeah, he just
Will
put
be
it in the
after.
comments. Yeah. So
Okay.
if people do have questions, they can go to that contact form and they can ask additional questions of us that way. Or you can put a comment in the YouTube comments.
Yes.
Eventually, I'll get around to looking at those. But if you use that URL, somebody will get around to it pretty quickly. They'll get the question to Marwa, and she'll get you the right answer. And there we go. So, okay. Well, hope if you like the show, do all those things. Send a letter to your mom, tell her all about it.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Matt.